You have to work with other people, and sometimes you don't want to. Sometimes they are in your face. God, I'm talking to myself too. But you still have to work with that person, so you have to lean over the shoulder and see what the result is that you want. You have to be the adult, and you have to let it go, because I can't run a race carrying your bags, my bags, and everybody else's bags.
I'm Dr. Kathy Martin, and I am living proof that LaSharon Combs, Coach Shay, and UCVI leadership processes and strategic avenues work.
Welcome to Be the Clay. This is a space where high-performing women come to reshape, release, and rise. This is where we tell the truth about transition, we honor the stretching seasons, and we learn to become who we were always meant to be. This is a faith-anchored podcast, and it's rooted in biblical truth that we are the clay and God is the potter. The clay doesn't shape itself, guys. It's stretched, it's pressed, watered, and worked by a skilled hand. In the same way, our seasons of transition, reinvention, and change are not random. They're purposeful, even when it doesn't feel that way. Here, we will talk about what it really means to yield to that process, letting God form our character, refine our mindset, and prepare us for the next chapter that He is crafting. This space honors the tension of becoming, the beauty of surrender, and the strength found in staying on the potter's wheel. Good morning, y'all. Thanks for joining me today. Today, we're going to talk about becoming, the art of becoming, and just getting ready for your next chapter. This is Be the Clay. And what we do is we just kind of focus on being the clay. And sometimes, clay can dry out. Sometimes clay is moist. I do want to say the more moist we are, the more we have some of that water of the word, so to speak, things tend to be a little easier. It's going to be simple either way, but simple doesn't always mean easy. And easy is relative. So today I do want to talk about the art of becoming. And what I want to do first is let's actually look at what art is. So the art of becoming is what we're focusing on right now. So we're going to be embracing our next chapter, focusing on the art of becoming. And so let me go ahead and get started. With the art of becoming, first I want to focus on art. You have like abstract art, you have art that isn't abstract, but for the most part, art is intentional. I'm big on intentionality, leadership. John Maxwell, I think when we're intentional with our time, we do see more progress, and you see it in a more sustainable format. So the intentional creation of something meaningful through skill, expression, and choice. Even when the outcome isn't fully predictable, like you may have something and it didn't look like it looked in your head, but it looks good. And you know what I'm saying? It's not, you didn't fully predict it would be like this, but you were going this way. And so that's what art is. Now, when we translate that to life, becoming isn't a straight line. Some of you who've been in some of the sessions I've taught, or you've been in some of the programs, I talk about those stages of transition. And that baby is an arc that goes up and down. It's a process. It's a process. It's a throughput. You're going to start here with whatever the event is, whether it's something you don't want to happen like death, divorce, or it's something that you do want to happen like marriage, graduation, new job, honeymoon phase, that type of thing. But what happens is those stages, they kind of ebb and flow. They go up and down. And when you translate becoming an art to life, you realize that it's not a straight line. It's brush strokes, So I often say, just keep swimming. A painter may say, just keep stroking, keep painting. I'm like, keep chopping wood and just keep swimming. Just like Dory, in the cartoon. It's brush strokes. So it's going to shape, it's going to mold, it's going to erase. It's going to shape, it's going to mold, it's going to erase. You can't be married to certain seasons. That's hard. That was difficult for me. It's repainting. When we go through the reset, we look at what's working, what's not working. What do we need to reformat? What's antiquated and we just need to kick out? Sometimes you have to realize the masterpiece you were fighting for was actually just the underpainting of what's being created. You know, like you've got it and you love the colors, you love everything where it is, and you're like, yes. And then you have to realize that this isn't even the finished product. This isn't the painting. This isn't the painting. This is underneath the painting for something better. And that can be difficult. That can be difficult. So when it's like that, the first point is you have to give yourself permission to become. Like, you have to give yourself permission to become. Point blank. That's just what it is. You have to come into agreement with it. You have to say, you know what? Okay, let's go. I'm going. Again, simple doesn't always mean easy, because if you're familiar with something and you're used to something being the way it is, and you don't know what the new room is going to look like. And let's stop right here on this art of becoming. I just want to encourage you. There are plenty of rooms that you didn't know what they were going to look like before you walked in them. You know, maybe you were a tech and you didn't know what it was going to be a supervisor, but you became one. Maybe you worked in healthcare and then you switched over to law enforcement, or vice versa. But those are new rooms that you walked in. And so I want to let you know, each chapter, it has to have permission from you. Now, change doesn't ask for your permission, but for you to move and to become something, you're like the next iteration or variation of yourself, your next stage of growth, it does require permission from you, not from anybody else. That's the key. Not from anybody else. It is our nature to go and talk to people, our friends, our mentors, all of that. Those are wonderful and fine things. But ultimately, it's going to have to be you. It's going to have to be you that gives yourself permission to grow. It is. And you can give yourself that permission. I do believe you're well able to give yourself that permission. So just be encouraged there. If, you know, on the left side, somebody is saying this, on the right side, somebody is saying this, maybe your past is saying something else that may try to have you operate in doubt or fear, but something in your inside, you know, intuition, internally, whatever it is, something is telling you, hey, let's go. And that's enough. That permission there is enough. So tell yourself, I give myself permission to grow beyond what people remember about me. Facts. I give myself permission to grow beyond what people remember about me or what people think about me. I've done that many times in my life by the grace of God, by the grace of God. And each time I've come out on the other side. You know, again, simple doesn't mean easy, but I did come out on the other side. Often we get stuck thinking we need approval, a sign, or a committee vote. Nope. You just need permission. Your next chapter is not a group project. The new rooms you're going to go in, the new people you're meeting, you've met, these new networks. It's only you. It's only you. Okay. So the key line with point number 1 is becoming begins the moment you stop waiting for someone else's blessing. I wish I had like a little thing to be like, I'm sure I do, but it means I would have to move around right here. And I don't want to. I just want to talk to you guys today. Point number 2 is your past is a reference point. It is not a restraining order. It is a reference point, not a restraining order. One of the hardest things in life, and I'm sure it's not just for me, is to let go of the familiar, to let go of the familiar. I have been in the military. I have been in trouble. I grew up. I've seen different stages. I'm just going to call them zip codes. I've seen different zip codes in my life. And for a long time, the things I wanted to see, I was like, I probably can't see them because I didn't see them in my past. So how would I see them in my future? But it's a reference point. It's not a restraining order. Most of the limits individuals have are self-imposed. And so your past is a reference point. And as a matter of fact, it's a reference point probably of the things that you have overcome, the lies you have overcome, the doubts you have overcome, the education or the support systems that maybe you felt like others had and you didn't have, but you overcame those things. So it is a reference point. It is not a restraining order. Let yourself be free. As the people say now, clock it, but whatever. Just let yourself be free. It is a reference point, okay? Look at some of the things you've overcome. Instead of saying, oh my God, I went through those things, or you feeling like you are shamed or you are lesser than because you went through them, recognize the skill sets that it took to overcome that. The tenacity, the mental fortitude, you know, those type of things, the ability to look at yourself in the mirror and shift and change the things that are not serving you. Look at what you have overcome in your past. Again, reference point, not a restraining order. Many people rehearse one failure, one misstep, one detour. That's one step, one failure, one detour. You've had more than that in your life. Don't get stuck there. Don't let the rumination cause you to get stuck there. And some things hurt more than others. Some things are heavier. Some things are harder to overcome or plow through. That's okay. Just keep swimming. Just keep moving. Be the clay. The one thing is not your entire resume. It is not your entire CV. Your past is just a data point. Use it as such. It is a data point. It's not your destiny. The key line with number 2, I want you to know, because your old chapter, don't let it imprison you. That's all I have to say. Learn from it and be informed from it. I have something here on my wall. It just says learn from yesterday. So learn from your past as a reference point, a data point, but don't allow it to lock you down and imprison you. If you woke up today and you're breathing, you have an opportunity. Many, many mercies are coming to you today. They're brand new, and there are opportunities all around us. So the key line with that is you can honor where you've been without dragging it like into every room you walk into. And I don't know, there's a video I have here on this page. I may actually put it up. If I do, it'll be there. And it's going to talk about like the traits. If you went through something negative and you're talking and you're always talking about the negative thing, what happens is it's called trait transference. Then if you're going, like, don't drag it into every room you go into, because then what you're trying to get rid of, you brought like a dirty Linus blanket. You know what I'm saying? Like a comforting blanket, but it's all dirty and matty and just natty with it. And now you're bringing it into every room. And so people are going to associate you with that blanket. No, when you go into that new room, learn the room. Guys, I'm walking into these rooms. I'm walking into these rooms and I'm like, what? You know, I'm learning the room though. I'm not trying to say everything that I've done. I know those skill sets that I've learned. And some, I may not even realize just how nice I am with the skill set. But in that instance, I'm walking into the room. I'm going to learn the room. I'm walking in. I'm looking. Who's in this room? What's the etiquette in this room? You know, what are the protocols in this room? And so I honor where I've been. I honor it. I learned a lot. I experienced great wins that were more than I thought. I experienced some gut punching losses that I couldn't believe. Like what? All the way around in different life dimensions. But when you're walking into this new room, I can honor all that without dragging all that with me. That is not the muchness of the allness of my life. I will not drag all that with me. Shanae Tucker told me that saying, and it works. You hear me? Most things are not the muchness of the allness. All right, so number 3 is the next version of me and the next version of you will cost the old one. So my next version cost the old me. Certain things I was doing, the way I was giving my time or allotting my time, I'm unable to do that now. You know, it's costing me that. And it cost at that time, it, you know, really was costing like, well, what will they think? You know, will they think I'm acting funny because something they did, so now I'm acting different? No, I have to act different because I'm not in that version anymore. And so that version doesn't serve me here. So it does cost the old one. So for you, it'll cost you to owe you. Maybe you didn't speak up. Maybe you wait for other people to speak in the meetings because, you know, you want to give them an opportunity, or you're worried about what someone else is thinking. But if it's a shorter meeting and they're bringing you in there to collaborate, bring your ideas, you know, like the next version of you will cost you the old one. This is the part that a lot of people skip. They try to go in and be the exact same thing. And let me say it in a way that maybe will make more sense. have you ever worked somewhere and someone comes from a different place, whether they are a traveler, they just got hired, they came from a competitor, and they come to you and they're like, well, at the old place, this is what we did. And then they try to force where they were into where they are. And you're like, well, this isn't their place. And so this is what I'm telling you. A lot of people skip this part, but you cannot force what you were into your new place. Reinvention sounds glamorous. It sounds real good and real sexy until you sitting in your car crying because your old habits, they're fighting you. They don't want to let go. You know, you have to get up out that seat. I have to put a new habit there. This is a place for a new habit, but your old habits are like, no, this is my seat. I was sitting here and I don't want to move. And same thing with old mindsets, old coping mechanisms. Oh, those coping mechanisms. Jesus, take the wheel. This is why you have to be the clay, because there are times when you need help. I have coping mechanisms that I know do not fit. And I literally have to pray and journal so that I can remind myself when I'm reading that journal and journaling it again. Like the journal helps me not get caught doing a coping mechanism without thinking about it. And so the new version will cost you the old version. Growth will make you grieve the familiar, especially if you enjoyed where you were. Especially if you were like, hey, this is fine, but maybe you got comfortable. One of the ladies who, first off, she's just an amazing person. I'm just going to call her, Becky Pap. There was something I didn't want to let go. And I was like, no, I like where I am and I don't understand what's going on. And she mentioned, she's like, well, maybe you got comfortable. And I was like, well, what's wrong with being comfortable if you work hard for it? And she just reminded me, she's like, but no, everything about you is push until the ceiling becomes the floor. And she's right. And when she said it, I heard her. It didn't make it easy, but it did make it simple. And I was like, you know what? I was grieving the familiar, guys. And so let's just, if you can, just take a second right quick. Maybe have you grieved the familiar? Are there some familiar things you need to grieve? Sometimes you got to bury some things, take them to the graveyard because they no longer serve you. The next version of you will cost the old version. Becoming always requires subtraction before addition. You have to make room for the new. I don't care if it's new wine, new ideas, new relationships, but you have to move things out because we all have limited capacity at any certain time. And so you have to move things out to create space for the new. When you're growing, it will take subtraction before addition. That's a painful statement for some, but it's also an enlightening statement. So in this art of becoming, even now you may be thinking of things that should be subtracted, that need to be subtracted, and you dilly-dallied with it, or you're procrastinating on it, or you're like, well, I don't have anything to put in its place, so I'm just going to still hold on to it. No, get rid of it so that the thing that's coming to take that, to occupy that space can come. Key line I would like for you to remember with the next version will cost you the old version is every promotion requires a release. You cannot hold on to the past and your possibility with the same hand. So you can't be like, oh, I want to grab this new thing, but you're still so much holding to the past that the new thing can't get in there. Every promotion requires a release. The next thing I really want to talk about is number 4, about like how messy becoming is. Remember I talked about painting and abstract paintings, and paint gets everywhere. You hope it stays on the plastic, but there's no guarantee that it will. But before we talk about that, let me go ahead and share this brief little video with you all. And this is about the Hold Your Form book. And feel free, again, if you would like this book, it is on Amazon. It's anywhere books are sold, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, definitely on the sites. And so there'll be some links in there if you would like to get this book as well. When we come back, though, I'm going to talk about how messy becoming can be. right, guys. So you'll see it there. Also, there's a QR code up there. For those of you, the QR code is just a gift from your heart. So if there's something here that said that resonates with you, that is life-giving to you, and you know that, and you can, feel free to, make a donation. You can give, and just scan the QR code, and it'll take, you can give whatever you want. Whether you give $5 million or you give 50 cents or $5 or $10, just whatever it is, if you'll scan that QR code, it will let you be able to donate. Again, if you're interested in the book, I'll put the link to the book down below. You guys know that book has been out since 2018. It is helpful for emotional intelligence in its simplest form. And before the end of the year, there will be something if you want to buy the new book, which is Think on Purpose, which is really, it goes really good into like mental things and helping you control your thoughts and helping you train your thoughts to serve you. Life can get hard, and a lot of people right now are having difficulties with their thoughts, but there is a way that you can think on purpose. And Think on Purpose was the first book in the series before Hold Your Form. I just did not release it to the full public. It was only for, for a small group, but it will be being released. It's been revised and updated, and right now we're just packaging it up, but it will be able to be purchased before Christmas. I may even do like a pre-buy. That's enough of that information there. Let me go back to like becoming and how it's messy. It's messy. It is messy. Let me tell you, it's messy. You have to let go of some old things. Remember I said the old coping mechanisms, sometimes even some relationships. I'm not saying you can't talk to people forever, but the same way you may have your favorite paintings in the living room or in your office, but you're like, I'm sick of looking at that. So you can put it up or you can put it in a different room. Maybe it goes to the den. Like, things can be shifted around because becoming is messy. It's messy, but messy isn't wrong. It's like taking Velcro, like you're taking, what's it called? Gauze. It's like taking gauze off of something that's open. It hurts and it's messy, but you need to take it off so it can heal. But it's been stuck so long. Or like Velcro that had been stuck to something forever, but you have to rip it out. It's a separation. Everybody loves a clean narrative. I would love to tell you how I didn't have to go through any mess, and it was just like I did this, then this, then this. But between each of my things, there was a season of reformatting, of reshaping, of reforming, of me being still long enough so that the potter can shape. When I was training and for Brinker, I was training at Chili's. I opened new stores. Training was part of what I did. And then I moved back home to, my mom was going through some things, but I moved home for personal reasons. But the job that I was doing was not available to me once I moved home. And I was like, well, what's going to happen? I need revenue. I need income. And so again, there was that time in between, like what's going to happen? And you know what? I ended up working at Tulsa Juvenile Trust Authority, which was with young people giving counsel, like 7 to 17. And it was amazing. It was amazing. I learned so many things that I had skipped. And here I am teaching and working with these young people. But what I'm teaching them are things that I didn't have access to in my youth. And so it was messy though in the in-between time. It was messy. It was messy, y'all. I didn't have no car. My furniture, I didn't have no furniture in the apartment. I had an all bills paid apartment. My neighbor downstairs, oh my God, can you say giving me the blues? It was messy. It was messy. I was laying on that floor on the couch, on like not the couch because I didn't have one. I was laying on the carpet. Let me tell you how messy it was. Because we like these clean narratives, and often we look at people and we say, oh, that person doesn't have any problems or, first world problems, whatever. My only furniture came from Chili's. It was a dish rack. Do you know how embarrassed I was about that? But it was also one of the happiest times of my life because I was just like, I was moving forward. I was becoming. I knew that possibility was there. I was learning new things in new rooms. developing relationships with individuals who were at different class structures. It was a lot of great things happening. But I was in that apartment, that all bills paid apartment in Tulsa, 69th and Lewis, 68th and Lewis. And the only furniture I had was a dish rack that they had thrown out from Chili's, so my clothes didn't have to go on the floor. That's it. That is it. A lady named Tanya Rogers, gave me like a blanket so to sleep on and wrap up, and I would sleep in the living room. And that's where the big old dish rack was. It was huge. It was an eyesore. It was messy. But messy wasn't wrong. Messy wasn't wrong. Becoming rarely looks clean. Becoming rarely looks clean. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be some clay that flies off. The water's going to do different things. You're going to be tired of being in the stage of becoming, but hold your form. Just keep swimming. Keep moving your needle forward. Okay? Because it can look like a bunch of confidence on Monday. A huge amount. Ready to take over the world. Let's go. Nothing can stop me. Nothing can stop me. You better believe it. And then on Wednesday, I'm like, what am I doing? Am I even supposed to be here? Like, did I make a wrong turn somewhere? Lord, is this your will? God, give me a sign. You know, like, becoming is messy. And then by Friday, I have clarity. Oh, this is what it is. This is why it is like that. You know, it's in the entire cycle. It's going to pop off again next week. You know, it's going to pop off again next week. Doing my last messy period, my most recent messy period, I'll say my most recent becoming, because I'm also still becoming. We're always becoming. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm like, yeah, we did it again. Like, as long as you're breathing. But my last one, like, instead of me working during the day, I work in evenings. I'm up early in the morning with the reset, you know, I'm up reset times. I'm doing work during reset hours, evening hours where everybody else is sleeping. You know, I'm working it out. And that's okay, because that's not any type of instability. That is part of the transformation. That is part of the transformation. It is me becoming. It's me becoming. Now, also for me, again, faith-based. This is Be the Clay. Another part of the mess. I want to be clear and transparent with everyone involved. The hurt. Like, it's easy to say, I forgive, right? Or, oh, it's fine. It didn't bother me. You know, it's easy for some of us, especially women, especially minority women. You have learned how to power through, because you have to power through. Don't nobody care. And everybody got problems. You know what I'm saying? But here we are. We at work. You better pull it together. So you learn how to power through. But in being the clay, you really can't take that stuff. You can't take it at all into the new rooms. Even if you don't talk about it, you know, you still can't bring it into that room. Going into new rooms are narrow spaces. It is where stuff gets narrow before it opens up again. It is a narrow space. So if there's hurt or residue of pain, if you still like, if there's some animosity that you may not even be aware of because you pushed it down and you're powering through, you can't take it into the new room. The new room, that stuff got to be listen, the impurities are coming out of the clay. That's part of the press part. It's part of the press. It's part of the press, guys. Press, but not crushed. But it is part of the press. Those impurities have to come out so that clay can be smooth. It can be smooth. You don't need no jagged pieces of glass or rock sticking out. No, it has to come out. Which means, for me, I have to say, that still hurts. You know, I have to have those moments maybe where tears are floating down my face, but I'm not cussing anybody out. I'm just letting the tears come so I can give them to my maker. So I can give them to the potter. I got to give it to the potter. I got to. Every time. In each season of my life, I've had to give things to the potter. Where maybe something happened and it didn't happen in the way I thought it should. Or maybe I felt like, well, they should have gave me a car. Or they left and they was this. Or, you know, like whatever I thought that was going to make my life more comfortable. I have to give it to the potter. Whether they were right and whether their intentions were good or whether their intentions were bad. I still have to give it to the potter because that can't go into the new space. And so if there's some things that you may need to let go of, listen, it's messy. Let it go so that you can go on into your next space. That's not you being unstable. That's not instability in any way, shape, or form. That is just part of transformation. All right, guys? That's part of transformation. The key line with becoming messy, but messy isn't wrong. The key line I want you to remember there is the mess is proof that you're in motion. Clay only becomes something when pressure and shaping collide. Okay, so that pressure you're feeling, and then his hands on you, you know, when those things collide, that is good. That is when clay begins to take form, begins to take shape, and you begin to see the clarity. You begin to see glimpses of the next room. Oh, there's the door. I see the light coming out into the hall. You know where you're going. You begin to get glimpses because you're no longer stuck ruminating on, oh my God, this thing has happened. No, you are becoming. You are becoming, man. Let's go, yo. Let's go. Let's go. You are becoming. And so, with that, the next point, number 5 is, and this is the last point, your next chapter needs your voice, not your silence. This is why you have to be healed up so you don't carry that trait transference too. You don't want to waste your time talking about the wrong thing. Woo! Jesus, won't he do it? Hallelujah. Do not waste your time talking about the wrong things in the new room. Okay? Okay? Okay. God is good. Listen, there were doing this becoming with some of the trends. And I remember, man, it was like I wanted to talk about it because I was bleeding. And I'm like, I wanted this. Like, be quiet. Just sit here. Sit here. Give your name. How you doing? Phone number. You know, make those connections and be quiet. Be quiet at that time, you know, because again, I'm in the becoming. I'm in the becoming. I hadn't even got to the messy part yet, you know? And so now, in this part of it, I've been talking. And I'm like, okay, good. Because I can see, all right, I've been talking now because I've seen the light from the door. I've seen those things. And so I'm out of the messy stage. Hopefully, if I'm not, you know, it's something that I don't know, and I'll give it to the potter then. I'll give it to the potter once it shows up. But now I'm at the place where my next chapter needs my voice, not my silence. So even though I may have been comfortable at the entry level position, now I'm not at the entry level position. I'm at this position. And so this level needs this voice. This chapter needs this voice. This is the voice that needs to show up. So for me, that's a voice of collaboration. That's a voice of connecting and meeting and being able to work with people in different states, different areas, again, on a more consistent level. That's me being able to do that, not just in one industry, i.e. healthcare or social work, but also education, and also, you know, being able to do things kingdom-wise. And so that's amazing. Your next chapter will need your voice, not your silence. It will need your voice, not your silence. And so when we're transitioning, we tend to think, stay quiet, hide the uncomfortable parts. But becoming demands your voice, okay? Becoming demands your voice, your honest voice too. Don't put on for the city. Don't try to be performative. Be authentic. Let me say it again. Try not to be performative. Be authentic. People who struggle with imposter syndrome will continue to struggle as long as they are being performative, because performative is you performing a role, acting. Be authentic. Be fully you. Be fully you, your skill set, what you bring, your insight, all of that, your collaborative abilities. Be fully you, not the polished PR friendly version, you know. Be the actual you, because your next chapter is shaped by what you say, by what you declare, and by what you commit to consistently. Consistently. When it's always performative, again, we all know somebody. We've been to somebody. So you're sitting in your car outside. You don't even want to go in the house. It's just like you got to get the day off of you. Be you, fully you. Be fully you. Don't be the performative you, okay? The key line here is say it out loud. You, say it out loud. You becoming, who you're becoming, what you're becoming. I don't even want to say what because that sounds performative. Who you're becoming matters. Who you are becoming matters. Who you've been mattered, who you are matters, and who you're becoming matters. And the world needs the version that you're stepping into. So if you stepped into a nationwide educator role, step into the role and be fully you. Don't be in there trying to perform. Comparison is the thief of joy. You were happy when you got that role. You were happy when you took the job. Don't be in there trying to look and say, oh, this person is such a great educator, so I'm not. That's qualified, disqualified. Don't do that. Step into the room and be fully you, because your next version, this version of you, needs you to be fully you, not performative. Not performative. They hired you, or they contracted you, or they dated you, or they befriended you, not the performative version, okay? So as I shut this down, guys, I just want to say the closing cadence for this episode. Again, if there's something that you like, please, guys, go ahead, scan the code, give from your heart. Whatever's on your heart, just give from your heart. The closing cadence. Here's the truth. Becoming is not something, it's not like a single moment. Change happens in a moment. Transition is everything after change. Change happens like boom, 9/11, the planes, they crashed down, right? But transition happened for like what? From that moment almost to like 2.5, 3 years later. Transition would be TSA was no longer private. It became government. You know, we had to take our shoes off. Transition is the effects of the change. It's like, what happens after the change? Change is immediate and it does not ask for permission. Transition is us getting acclimated. What's being adjusted because of this change? You know, you got a new tracking system. You got it on the day. Now, all these other things are going to change because you have something new in place. You got a new manager. Manager had a first day. It's going to be changes because you have a new manager. That's the transition part. Transition is not change. Change is change. Transition occurs afterward. All right, guys. So in this, becoming is not a single step. It's like a rhythm. It's like a rhythm. Find the flow. It's a rhythm, okay? It's a rhythm. It's the flow zone. You know, people say, I'm in the zone. That's what it is. It's a zone. It's a rhythm of releasing, reshaping, and reintroducing yourself to your own life. Just let that settle. Let that settle. You can't make it make sense to someone else until it makes sense to you. It is a rhythm of releasing, reshaping, and reintroducing you to your own life. You're not behind. You're becoming. You may feel overwhelmed because it should have been this. You thought things would be settled by now. You've been working there 6 months, a year, or whatever. You're not behind. You're becoming. Breathe. Breathe. Learn the room. Learn the room. Some things take longer to learn than other things. Don't put those expectations on yourself. Well, I should have knew it in a month, in 2 months. No, you shouldn't have. No, you shouldn't have. You may have been a bit arrogant. It was ambitious of you to think so. Somebody else may call it arrogant, but you are where you are. You're not behind. Learn. Learn the new room. Learn who the people are in the new room. Who are the players? Learn who's ethical, who's not ethical, who's honest, who's not honest. Learn the ebb and flow, the new tools, new systems. Maybe there's a new way to educate. Learn your new preferences, you know. Just because you always worked with a Lego set, maybe they have lasers at this new job. You know what I'm saying? So just because you're comfortable with Legos doesn't mean you won't learn lasers. Learn what's in this new room. You are becoming. As long as you keep letting God shape you, letting him be the potter, letting God purpose you, letting God, you know, letting the pressure that's there, helping it to shape. As long as you keep doing those things, as long as you keep letting God, purpose, and pressure work together to shape you for this new space that you're in or that you're going to walk in, you will always grow into the woman you've been designed to be. You will always grow into the woman this next chapter requires. And it's probably a chapter after that. I don't know how many chapters are in your book. I don't know how many chapters are in my book. But I do know I'm here for every chapter, baby. I'm here for every chapter. Whether I'm like, let's go, woo, 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 you know, speaking from a stage, or whether I'm like, ooh, that's hard, Lord, and hot tears are flowing down my face. I'm still going to be the clay. I'm still going to be the clay. The clay is consistently, being the clay is consistently my winning methodology. You hear me? Being the clay has consistently allowed me to step into new rooms. And so I will always be the clay. Whatever it's like, whether I'm a cup this season, a bowl this season, or whether I'm a vase, or whether he crafts me into a spoon to pat dough or whatever it is, I'm always going to be the clay. Period. And I encourage you to do the same. So those are the 5 things I wanted to share with you guys. Now, also down below in the description, there is a free worksheet. It's a complimentary worksheet. You can just download it to see how it can help you about, you know, being the clay, things like that. And there will also be a link for the book if you want to purchase Hold Your Form. And there will be another link just telling you about, you know, podcasts and newsletters, stuff like that, things that are normally in descriptions. But I want to say y'all be safe and God bless. If y'all have any questions, let me know. After Thanksgiving, in the month of December, we're going to start doing QAs. The QAs will be on Thursday. And so whatever question you have from any program, from anything, you'll be able to ask those questions. I'll show up live on Thursdays and we'll do a Q&A if that's something you're into. I'll see you there. Feel free to share this video. Feel free to let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about. But right now, I just want to bless you in your journey. I want you to be the clay. I want you to enjoy the art of becoming, because it is art. And I just pray that you become like a beautiful masterpiece. If you're someone and you do not believe in God, like you're like, well, I'm not a Christian, and me saying these things turn you off, I won't apologize for it, because it does work and it has worked in my life. But I do want to say biblical principles work. They work whether you're a Christian or not. You know, you're gonna reap what you sow. There are certain things, given principles. Those principles work. And so yeah, I hope that you were still able to get some value out of this. And who knows, hang around long enough. Maybe one day you'll open up that book and be like, oh, okay. Maybe something in there you like. Y'all be safe. God bless. Again, my name is Sharon, and enjoy the art of becoming. And we'll see you later on Be the Clay.
Stop. I want it. I got it. I want it. I got it. I want it. I got it.